Hello, Internet Capitalists, and we're coming to you this week from Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. A little late today because we had traveled this morning, and we got to make sure we get the show done in time. We got a lot of topics, but our Pittsburgh Steelers are playing tonight at 7 p.m., and a kid I coach is going to play against them in the second half, so we have to get done. Benjo, you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready. We have a lot to cover. Actually, it was a really interesting week for sure. Just on a variety of fronts, from things happening on chain to developments in ETF land to politics. So I think there's a lot to do in a short amount of time. So we should just probably get right into it.
Let's rock and roll, baby.
Okay. Well, let's, as always, check the charts. Let's see if I can share my screen here. Did we talk about this last time? How
talk about what, son?
You were getting really depressed about the prices, and you were like, "Am I going to be okay?" And I was like,
yes.
"Oh, you will be okay."
I did some soul searching this week on a macroscopic level, and I feel like everything is fine. I don't like the red candles. I don't know where we're going, but I feel like everything's fine.
Okay, yeah. Just to reinforce that, here been a lot of volatility. Interesting thing, I saw that the VIX, the measure of volatility, I think it just measures the stock market, not crypto, but it spiked to one of its highest levels of all time. If not the highest, had the single highest single day candle ever.
Wow.
And then it dropped off and is extremely low now. So it's really strange activity in the stock market, at least, and that's kind of reflected. But yeah, here we are. Not much change for Bitcoin, sitting at 59,000 United States dollars, still roughly in this range that we had. Any thoughts on Bitcoin?
One word, that looks like a big nothing burger.
I mean, yeah,
that's
been the story of the cycle. There's a lot of spike. I'll give my take on the markets generally after we look at the next two, but there's a lot of talk about like what this cycle has been so far and where we're going. But let's take a look at ETH. Similar thing. Obviously, we had that little bit harder drop off, but we're just sitting here again. Pretty much erased that entire move up that we had following the Bitcoin ETF launch earlier this year. So we're still up year to date. Like if you bought ETH, you're up 10-ish% year to date, which is, a decent return. Other cryptocurrencies are up more. Bitcoin, Solana up about 30% year to date. And then most altcoins are down tremendously bad. If you bought an altcoin on January 1st this year, you're down 50 to 80%, most likely. So interesting cycle for sure.
Move to value.
Let's look at total 3 then, just to probably reflect this. Same type of thing here. Maybe some people are saying this is the generational top for total 3 here, that we never reclaimed these highs that we had last cycle. But not much going on there.
No,
we had this
nothing burger
altcoin run. So again, total 3 that's the second time you used nothing burger, by the way. But total 3, just as a reminder, is the market cap of all crypto coins, excluding ETH and Bitcoin. So it's a good kind of marker for determining whether it is quote unquote alt season or not.
Why is it called total 3 if it excludes 2?
I don't know, man.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's what we have. And
well, what's your take? You have a theory?
Yeah,
about this.
no. Well, we've been saying this from the beginning, which is actually funny. Is that it's like an institutionally driven bull cycle, and we said this from the beginning because like the catalyst was not everyone getting stimmy checks and getting free cash in their pockets to go sports bet or buy cryptocurrencies. So on the contrary, the catalyst was institutional products that institutions and professional asset managers can buy, and that kind of tells you where the attention, the focus, and the returns are going to be. And so far we've seen that with Bitcoin. ETH's been kind of squeezed, and we just got the ETF, so waiting a little bit more for that to play out. And then Sol, I think, just kind of coming back from the ashes, kind of benefiting from that as like the next biggest player in the space. And that's what we've seen. Like I said, if you bought an altcoin, you're toast. And a lot of people on Twitter now, on crypto Twitter, are saying that they think they're bearish on altcoins still. They just think that this is the new way the markets are going to be. And we're not going to get this kind of crazy banana alt season, the banana zone, as Raul Powell calls it, unless we see excessive Fed money printing, which probably won't happen anytime soon because the economy looks strong. We'll probably lower rates slowly, but nothing like COVID-era rate cuts and stimmy checks.
I agree with that. Tend to agree. Macroscopic factors. I think utility among the altcoins is a key. And right now with all the blockchains sort of being not a hot topic. There's not a lot of money flowing into those. So if it doesn't have any utility at all, it's going to be in big trouble. If it has some utility, staking or voting or whatever is your cup of tea, then I think there's a possibility it could hang on. But I would just be as happy as all the crazy coins just went away.
Yeah, no, me too. I mean, honestly, that's where a lot of the problems for the space come in. It's fun to bet on them, and there are some really innovative products, and you need tokens, and tokens are fun. But as like a long-term investment vehicle, they're unproven, and if they don't have cash flows, it really is just speculation.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's good businesses in DeFi and crypto, like Uniswap with the fees, like Ethereum itself, and that's one of the reasons it's great, is because it gets these cash flows from people paying fees for block space and stuff like this. But I'm with you on that, and we'll just have to see how it continues to evolve. But maybe the days of just stupid token valuations are over. I think we'll get the periodic pump. But yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
So for the first story today, we're going to start with politics. A little dry, but it's interesting nonetheless, because we saw Kamala Harris jump out to a lead in the U.S. presidential polls on Polymarket and other places this week. So we're paying a lot of attention to who she's going to have as her economic and crypto advisors. And Alex Thorne here, the head of research at Galaxy Digital, broke this week that some bad news that some of her advisors were at the helm of Choke Point 2.0, which was trying to cut off certain on and off ramps in the crypto industry. They were restricting crypto companies from getting banking licenses, and this has become a whole debate on crypto Twitter. So it's a bunch of people who are advocating, say, hey, we should lobby to the Democrats, like we should give them our time, attention, and money because they're ahead, and we should at least split time there. And other people are like, hardline, they've gone after us, they do not deserve our time, and this is kind of the debate. But not the best sign here, but there's been some other more positive developments as well. So this is something to keep your eye on, but if you want to do more research, we have Brian DC and Bharat Ramamurthy as the two key officials who don't spell great trouble for us. But did you get deep on this at all, or any thoughts?
Well, just to comment on what you said, the idea that we don't want to lobby the Democrats is silly. Like, this isn't religion. Both the Republicans or Democrats are politics. And as it has been for the past 100 years, money talks. If I were them, I would lobby the Democrats just as hard. What's her name? Warren from Maine isn't going to change wherever hell she's from. It doesn't really matter. But I think there's smart people that understand that they can't lose a gigantic voting block. All of a sudden we're changing our tune from the political sway that happened when Gary Gensler had to change his mind. So anyway, I think that practically I think that practically they need to think bigger than their own little wars that they're fighting and lobby politicians as a whole.
I'm more in the middle, I would say. I would say that the Democrats have kicked us, spit on our face, kicked us again. So it's like, it's true, it is, and it's been for the longest time. That's how it's been the last 4 years. And like, yes, Kamala and her administration can like say all of these things about how like there's like this crypto for Kamala. I think that was like a grassroots organization within the crypto to kind of support the ticket and have some discourse there. But at the end of the day, she was in the White House and presumably had influence for 4 years, and we did not really get any help there. She didn't make much of a stance on most issues, but not crypto nonetheless. And just the first actions out of that side was them saying that they wanted to be open and have a conversation with us, but then choosing as economic advisors two people who were at the head of trying to squash the industry. So I get the sentiment, and I think we should spend money there, and I think if it's ideologically driven, then it's like the wrong decision. But at the same time, it's like, I guess there's no other option. Like if they want to squash us, then there's not much that we can do. But I just haven't seen any. I just want to say I have not seen any signs of the Democrats slowing up. Of course, there are Democrats in Congress and government who support crypto, but the people leading this administration in particular, are not those people.
So, in spite of everything you said, crypto during this administration's time has been opened up through the ETFs to hundreds of millions of new users.
Because of courts, because it's the law, because they tried to squash these products despite the law, despite Gary Gensler and kind of the Democratic Party as a whole, under whom he's at the directive of, knowing that they should be legal. He knows about the technology. They still try to squash it. And the only reason we did is because we went to court and we said, hey, you approved these products so long ago. Here's the legal basis for why these should be approved. And it's actually better for consumers, better for Americans. That's the only reason. It's not because of any goodwill. They haven't done the industry any favors.
Well, I think the idea for an industry to be against any politicians is a nascent industry like this, which is, I don't really understand why the Democrats aren't for it. It seems very democratizing and bringing money to the people, which is strange to me what they're thinking. But I think if it were me, I'd start spending money on the Democrats.
Yeah, that's where I'm with you. All I'm saying is that, like, for being in the space for a while, it's disrespect after disrespect. They, like, do not like us, but it's like, what do you do? It's the answer is not to get even more hostile whenever they could easily win the election. It's just a bad strategy. Yeah. But at the same time, it's a thing to keep in the back of your mind. Like, I would not just take what they say at face value, because that has not been the case yet. So we'll see. And the same thing goes for Trump and others, and we'll talk. Maybe this is a good time to go into Trump. I just think, like, it's a lot of, you're seeing a lot of populist policies out of the politicians in general this election cycle, and Trump is obviously very well known for that. And I think the Kamala Harris administration is doing the same. But on the crypto end, the Trumps have been talking about, like we talked about last week, a crypto venture. Like, Donald Trump's sons announced on Twitter that they were very interested. He had fallen in love with crypto and DeFi, and that they were going to announce a project in this space. So reportedly, it involves digital real estate. So apparently, Trump says it's equitable, it's collateral anyone can get access to, and do so instantly. And I read this, and it's kind of unclear what he means. It's not clear if it's digital real estate and that they're going to tokenize real estate and, like, make it useful.
That would be nice.
That would be cool. I mean, that'd be cool. But it could also just be, like, offering, like, Donald Trump real estate in the metaverse or something.
That could also be what it is.
Yeah, it could, or both. You don't know. Yeah. So we'll see what this ends up happening. But I think this is just more pandering, and it is nice to be pandered to as opposed to attacked, but I wouldn't take it at face value. But I just wanted to give you guys an update on the Trump situation, because we talked about it last week. Any thoughts this time?
I think just wait and see. I have no idea what this is. The whole family tends to say things that don't make a lot of sense, and this could just be another one of those things.
Yeah, I would not be surprised, but we shall see. We shall see.
Hey, while you pull the next one up, I want to talk a little bit about the biggest news of the week in crypto and in ETH blockchain in particular. You know what that big news was,
What was
right?
big news?
Biggest news of the week is that Internet Capital is doing the creative work behind Ionic on Mode Networks, Ionic educational series. So we're developing a set of at least 10 videos that talk about Ionic and are geared towards getting getting new users all the skills they need to be able to effectively use Ionic protocol, which is something that I'm passionate about, because I still don't know a ton about it. And, between myself and Benjo providing some of the insight, and he's an excellent voiceover guy, I think we're coming up with a great set of things. So there's 5 that are done for the next 5 weeks, and there's 5 more that we're working on right now that'll be released from now till, I don't know, around 1st of November.
Yep, it's on, Ionic tweeted it out. It's on their official YouTube channel, but we'll link it below so you guys can check it out. But yeah, we'll teach you. If you guys are crypto natives or on-chain, you know how to lend, you know how to borrow, you know how to do all those things. But it also goes over Ionic's more specific features. So they have embedded looping features to get leverage on your lending and borrowing processes. We talk about their points program. We talk about different events they have, their plans for the future, and it's a good general overview. So, yeah, definitely check that out. Give us your feedback.
Yeah, give us your feedback. And one thing, a lot of protocols kind of get dissed about support and talking to people and things like that. The guys we're working with at Ionic range from kind of high up down to the guys that do a lot of work. They're all good guys. They're all responsive. They're folks, this isn't financial advice, but it seems to me as sort of an old hat, they're the kind of people you can trust. So, keep that in mind and check out the videos and let us know what you think.
Yeah, check them out. This is actually a good segue, too. I got to find it real quick, but there's actually news related to the Optimism Superchain.
Nice.
So I want to talk about that.
I'm a fanboy.
Yeah, I know. I guess we're both Superchain fanboys. But we've been talking about the Superchain forever, and Optimism is finally nearing the date. They haven't given a date yet, but nearing the date for deploying a native interoperability system for Layer 2 chains. So this is actually what the Superchain is. Right now, it's kind of like the roadmap, the plan, the pie in the sky of connecting all these chains. So, like, for example, you can, within the Optimism Superchain ecosystem, you could be lending and borrowing on Ionic, which is on Mode. But then, like, say you instantly want to swap for an asset that is only on Coinbase's base chain. You'd be able to do that without having to bridge between the two chains, and it would be very seamlessly interoperable. And this is kind of what the Superchain vision is. It just feels like one chain to users, but developers can build on each chain individually to get the different benefits of each ecosystem.
So does this like make things like Layer 0 obsolete within the Optimism Superchain?
Yes, I
are all the bridges
don't
protocols?
Quote me on this. Yes, I think it's like an alternative vision. I think bridges are generally viewed as kind of a stepping stone to this sort of thing, because this is more of like a shared sequencing technology, where shared sequencing means that somehow the different bridges share the same sequencer that orders transactions to submit to the Ethereum mainnet. And that is really the real unlock that allows you to do like this really quick, fast finality, seamless interoperability between the chains. And I think a lot of the teams that have built Layer 0 and other bridges are pivoting to supporting kind of cross-chain applications within this paradigm.
All right. So this is like adding cross-chain transfers to the operating system rather than an application that makes the transfers on top of the operating system.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to think about
Got it.
So it's actually embedded within the system, so it just makes everything faster, cheaper, more seamless. And so I'll just read the kind of quick takes here. It says, Optimism developers plan to introduce interoperability across various Layer 2 chains in the ecosystem, including OP Mainnet, Zora, Base, and others. This will involve a message passing protocol, a universal token standard, and a fault-proof system for secure asset transfers. So I think you could probably find some more details in their technical docs, but what we just said is the gist right now, and I think all this will be a huge unlock for the space.
So this is going to be, you said fast finality. This means it doesn't have to, it's not an optimistic roll-up. It's an instantaneous thing? I mean,
it'll be instantaneous between the L2s. It won't be instantaneous for the L1.
So that means, though, it is a trusted transfer between the L2s.
What do you mean trusted?
But I can swap right now and go do stuff on it. I can do 50 things.
From your perspective, it'll be instant finality, basically.
And they have the ability to roll it all back if it seems like down the road.
Yes, the optimistic fault-proof system does have that ability.
Gotcha.
Whenever you have these permissionless challengers watching to make sure no one's cheating and all of that.
That's a big piece of software.
Yeah, very much so. And it's like, it's interesting because crypto is very much so open source software development, so it's a lot of moving parts with a lot of different teams that have to be on the same page. So it's a huge feat, and the Optimism team is great. Shout out to them. We've been Superchain fans for a while. If someone's listening and wants to send us some merch,
yes, that's how I lived for 13 years as a football coach on free stuff.
Yep.
Oh, that reminds me.
Oh yeah, shout out.
Well, we got to get it first. I got to make sure.
But
there's another protocol that sent us free merch that we'll be showcasing on the show whenever we get it. It had to come from overseas.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried about sizing. European extra large might not fit this American extra large person. So we shall see.
Yeah, that's true. Well, shout out. If anyone wants to send us merch, we'll chill you. We're not taking... we won't dump on you. We're not going to shell tokens and dump on you. We don't do that. But if you give us merch, we will give you a shout.
Yeah, 100%. We work for clothes.
Yeah.
Or hats or an eye patch.
Or money.
Or money, but eye patch.
Eye patch. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay, it would be. All right, what's next?
So next up, this was pretty cool. You sent me this.
Yes, actually.
I did. So MetaMask partners with Mastercard to launch a crypto-backed debit card in Europe. So interesting, Europe on the cutting edge of innovation here. Not something that you hear often, but MetaMask has teamed up with Mastercard and banks to launch a debit card that lets users spend their crypto assets directly from their self-custody wallets. Consensus, the firm behind the project, views this new card as a pivotal step in weaving digital currencies into everyday life. I think this is pretty cool.
I think it's very cool. I think, like, Consensus is sort of another organization that has reached critical mass with money. That it's not like the Superchain and Optimism. They're kind of do something different. But I like to see these sorts of things happening with these credible players that can actually make a difference. And this is something. This is bringing crypto to the masses. This is great.
Yeah, 100%. I think similar thing here, just in the same vein. This was a huge news story this week too. Is that so Apple's NFC upgrade? I'm not familiar with the NFC chip technology, but it looks like it might be a sort of like API or plugin for other teams to build on. So it seems like Apple's enabling this thing with Apple Wallet where Circle, the issuer of the stablecoin USDC, could build on top of it to enable USDC tap to pay on iPhones.
Yeah, NFC is near field communication.
Okay. I'm just wondering about the update with that would enable this. You know what I mean? Like why this? Okay, yeah. Apple revealed it will now permit third-party applications to use its. So it is what I was saying. Use its NFC technology for transactions.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, this would be super cool. Like if you're waiting to like deploy some USDC that you hold in your Coinbase account or something.
Yeah.
And then like you know how you have like your Apple Wallet and you have like different cards in there. You just have like a Coinbase USDC card in there, and it just spends that, and then. Or even Coinbase is really fusing together Base Chain with the Coinbase app as well. So if you just have like stable coins in a lending market on Base Chain, and then you can put it and spend it on a coffee or something, that would really be like getting higher yields from like lending markets on Base permissionlessly, and then still spending it. And that would be crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, I love that, but the simplest example now, you get like 5.5% interest on Coinbase just keeping USDC there.
Yeah, that's true.
So
for now,
that's great. But what you describe is incredible too, and that's a multi-step transaction.
Yeah.
But well, look, this is Apple. They have a bazillion users, and it's going to be available on there. And then I don't know right now, but in the next year for sure, which is great.
Think about this process. Think about like whenever you need to send someone money on Venmo, like it takes forever to get it to your bank account. You can do instant withdrawal for like an extra fee, but on Base you could do like basically instant withdrawal. Just send your friend money from your higher yielding bank account, your bank account, USDC in a lending market. Send it to your friend immediately, and then they could spend it immediately. Also, it's just like decreases that latency, and you get the cost savings from the decentralized nature of everything. And this is kind of like the future vision of this technology and what it can do.
So with this deal going on here. This is a way to have like sub-penny transactions costs.
Yeah, for like payments.
For payments, or me to you payments.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, if you really zoom out and like why stablecoins are such a killer app, like there's just so many fees involved with all these middlemen and brokers who are operating these large businesses, and they make money from taking a cut. And if you can kind of like what blockchains do is kind of like decentralize the operation of these systems amongst other stakeholders and kind of split it up so people are incentivized to provide the infrastructure, then the whole thing becomes cheaper and it just works better. So this is like super cool. This is like what excites me about crypto the most is like the future of financial infrastructure being built, and this is a step in that direction.
100%. This is good stuff.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Two things this week. With the MetaMask and with the Circle USDC.
This is some fire technology week this week.
Yeah, good technology week.
Good technology.
Everyone's looking at markets all day. You can look at the tech. You look at the tech and be happy.
Yeah, well, and it's Apple, so you know it's not going to suck, and it's going to be easy to use.
Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great.
All right, what's next?
So, MakerDAO, Mulls, offboarding Wrapped Bitcoin amid Wrapped Bitcoin restructure. So, basically what happened is that do you know what Wrapped Bitcoin is?
Yeah.
So
I don't like Wrapped Bitcoin.
Why?
Because these Wrapped Bitcoin people like have this Bitcoin sitting around doing nothing they can't use any other way, probably offshore, and all of a sudden they dump like $100 million into one protocol and they eat up all the farming rewards for all of us, and it kills us.
Interesting.
So I don't like the Wrapped Bitcoin people.
I'm not aware of the holder base and what's going on there, but fair enough.
Yeah. There might be in some countries that made crypto illegal, and they're stuck with Bitcoin, and now I lose my farming rewards.
Well, I'm sorry about that. But basically, for those who don't know, Wrapped Bitcoin is basically someone like a company. I think it's BitGo. It's the crypto exchange BitGo and some partners, which we'll talk about in a second. But they just hold Bitcoin on the Bitcoin blockchain, and then they issue a token on Ethereum. So there's a middleman there. You're trusting them that they don't spend the Bitcoin or lose it and have it all in reserve. But then they issue a WBTC token on Ethereum so that you can use Bitcoin essentially and keep the exposure, and you can use it as collateral in DeFi on Ethereum and L2s. So that's the purpose, and I think like it was a pretty good product and it was growing for a while, but I think it kind of reached its like demand ceiling. There's only so many people who want Bitcoin to use it in DeFi. Most people like it for other properties, but it is what it is. It's fine. Like it's part of DeFi and it's good. But so the company, I'll just read it. MakerDAO is discussing whether to prevent users from minting its DAI stablecoin against Wrap Bitcoin as collateral after BitGo, the team behind Wrap Bitcoin, announced plans to transfer control over Wrap Bitcoin to a joint venture comprising itself, Bit Global, and Justin Sun's Tron ecosystem. And I think the piece here that was problematic was Justin Sun, because there's been a lot of dubious claims about this guy and kind of his actions on chain and what he's doing. He's a really kind of suspect figure within the space, and maybe it's just because he's like kind of part of the Asia crypto scene, and like people over in the West don't know him as well. But there's been some claims against things that he's doing. But the people behind the MakerDAO, the risk management team behind MakerDAO, did not like this at all. The fact that he would be a part of that kind of consortium. And so they're going to, it seems like, stop enabling minting DAI against Wrap Bitcoin as collateral. So this was a big story this week, and there's a huge debate going on.
So, it's interesting to me here, because I have a lot of respect for the MakerDAO people. You've told me about them forever, what they want to do. We just talked about the Apple NFC thing. Before that, we talked about Superchain. It seems to me, and I think this is critically important, that there is a professionalization happening. It's not these figures that are leading as a Pied Piper, everyone in DGen down a path that only they know. Now it's big companies that have something at stake, that have professionals managing them, that are taking over and making adult decisions rather than acting childish. And I think that's something this industry very much needs. Professionalization among project management, among leadership, among communications, all that stuff. And we're seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely needs it. It's also true that it's like, you're always going to have people who don't fit that description, though.
That's fine.
Because it's like an open system.
But you can't have everybody not fit that description.
Of course not.
Right.
Not everyone does fit that description.
No.
And I actually don't even know if Justin Sun fits that. He's just kind of like...
No, he may not. I don't know.
Has a dubious history. Yeah, it's just uncertain. But basically the main complaint that MakerDAO had was that the true USD stablecoin, which was sold to a Justin Sun-linked conglomerate last year, suffered a deterioration in operational processes and transparency since the sale. So once he kind of got in control of managing the stablecoin, it went downhill. They're afraid the same thing happens to Wrap Bitcoin, making it bad collateral for MakerDAO, potentially putting the protocol at risk. And
bingo.
That's the too long didn't read there, I would say.
So 2 weeks in a row. Last week, Jump unravels because they were a bunch of yahoos, essentially, it seems like, did shady stuff.
Yeah, they were shady. They were involved in a lot.
Here, a very professional comes saying, we don't want to, maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but we don't want to take the chance with our particular protocol.
Yeah, and I think that's good. I think that's a good thing for the risk management teams to be aware of, because like MakerDAO's always been very professional, very serious project with a serious mission, so I think that's good. Last thing on this, though, is that Coinbase, amid all this drama, tweeted this, just CBBTC, period. Basically implying that they're going to offer their own Wrap Bitcoin, which I think would be pretty cool, because a lot of people just hold Bitcoin on Coinbase anyways. So, like, you're already trusting them with it anyways, and I would trust Coinbase. So then if you can just get on base chain with your Bitcoin that you hold anyways there, that'd be pretty cool.
I love that idea.
Yeah, so it's a great idea. It makes sense. Good business move. And you can see kind of the comments down here. Coming soon from Coinbase official. Based from base.
That means good?
Yeah, based. Okay. That's some slang for you. But yeah, everyone's excited about that. So that was a big topic to speak on the heels of all that drama.
I'm happy this week, too. This is stuff that I relate to a lot.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, it's good. It's good technology.
Yeah.
It's good technology. So... let's throw in a brief intermission real quick. This was at the beginning of the week, but should have mentioned this in the politics, but the U.S. government moved 600 million Silk Road Bitcoin to Coinbase. So that wasn't the best, implying that they're going to sell some more, but that's some more downward pressure. I feel like the story of this cycle, again, is just institutions. So it's like the Germans, like the government dumping, jump dumping. So it's these big institutions, and the government seems to not want Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset, because I think it's funny, we were talking about it 2 weeks ago, because Trump and the Republicans had made it a part of their crypto, part of their platform. They had an official stance on it. Trump was talking about, I think it was just pandering at the Bitcoin conference because he hasn't mentioned crypto since. But that was the whole topic, so that the White House now is just like, all right, let's sell all the Bitcoin. It's just kind of ironic. So that's happening.
Yeah. That's a nothing burger.
Third time. Trifecta for the nothing burger.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Crap. Okay, so another one here related to MakerDAO. We kind of did it out of order. I just did this. We just mentioned it though. So Grayscale Investment launches Grayscale MakerDAO Trust. So if you remember, like the Ethereum and Bitcoin trusts that were converted into ETFs recently. So for Ether, it'd be ETH-E, and for Bitcoin, it was GBTC.
Yep.
So they had these trust products for the longest time, and then they would trade at wild valuations below and above the actual spot Bitcoin, because you couldn't actually redeem the shares for spot Bitcoin or spot Ethereum. So, but it was the best kind of substitute that we had for crypto products and institutions. But Grayscale does a good job, and now they're offering a similar product until we get an ETF one day for Maker. So that's kind of cool, and it allows people, because Maker has actually performed well. It's one of the altcoins that has performed well, and it's because it does have these fundamentals. So that's being offered as a more institutional product now. Finally, not on the same scale as the ETFs, but it's cool nonetheless, I would say.
Good. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Cool. And then, I guess the last thing that we have here is Franklin Templeton, the ETF issuer for crypto, one of the big traditional players in the space, files for new crypto index ETF that has Bitcoin and ETH. And I think this is like a really good step, because index funds are some of the most popular products in investing. And most people, or most asset managers, will just be like, yeah, let's just like buy the market, allocate this much to crypto, automatically go like 70-30 Bitcoin ETH. Makes it easy for them to do it and manage one product. So I think this is really cool. And I haven't actually read into the details, but my intuition is that this shouldn't take that long, since both products are approved individually. So putting them together obviously would have some extra work, but not too much if I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, they could just buy their own Bitcoin and ETH funds and hold those.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how. I'm sure the registration process is more
complicated than that.
Yeah, it's more complicated, but that is happening, and I think that's pretty cool. I also saw, this was interesting, earlier this week, last thing, because this is kind of related. So the NASDAQ and some other exchanges, I believe, had filed some applications for options on the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. But then they ended up withdrawing those applications a few days later, which I found really interesting. I actually did not dive into this much at all, so I don't know what the reasoning was or the explanation was for filing them and then removing them. But from what I understand, having options on these ETF products is really important, because it helps to make for a full market. So traders can express full positions using a variety of different financial instruments, which includes like futures, spot products, and options. And then that makes a more deeper, more active, more liquid market. So it would be important. And I'm not exactly sure what happened to here, but it's cool to see that they were discussing it. I'll have to see why they withdrew, though.
Oh, it looks like they're going to, it says the very last sentence, they're likely to refile.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, so we got the Bloomberg boys here, which are best sources for this type of thing. Let's see what he says. Saying that they're probably going to refile within the next few days, withdrawing applications. I'm expecting them to refile over the coming days or weeks, like we saw from the Chicago Board Options Exchange. Interesting. So keep your eyes on that. That is a really important step, and I think getting those will be great for the space. But yeah.
Cool. That's good. Is that everything?
Yeah. Is there anything else you saw this week that you wanted to talk about? I'm trying to think. There's a lot going on, but that was a lot of topics that we covered.
Very lot. And we spent a lot of time this week actually build on the internet capital side. We could talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
So Wednesday, you came out with the first edition of, I don't know what you're calling that, but the Wednesday update.
Midweek crypto update. So in your inbox, it will say, the title will be, it'll be from Internet Capital, and it'll say a bunch of the topics that are just going on in the middle of the week. And the idea behind this was that waiting from Sunday to Sunday is a long time to wait for like news, and stories move really fast, and we can talk about them here, but it's better to have them in the middle of the week a lot of times. So we're just providing those stories and a little bit of a blurb summary of what's going on there to keep you updated. So half the stories we talked about today occurred in the beginning of the week, and I put those in there, and then the second half you can't get to, and we'll just put in the Sunday newsletter. But splitting it up is really useful, and that's the idea behind that. I would definitely check it out. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Share it with a friend. I think it's super high quality if you're interested in crypto and have some financial background, or just a crypto native looking to stay up to date. And then second, it also gives us some more space if we want to add a bonus editorial on it was sent out Thursday morning this week. It'll be Wednesday night or Thursday morning, but it gives us another space to kind of do a long form piece. And this week, you want to talk about, you kind of already talked about this on the show.
Yeah, I talked about on the show. Just wanted to get out there kind of what happened to me, my experience, and how it's important to stay focused on what you do well and what you understand, and I didn't. So that's talked about in the editorial.
Yeah. I can pull it up here quick.
Yeah, internetcapital.xyz is where you can sign up.
Yeah.
And shout out to my friend, did I pronounce that Gengar? Like the Pokemon? Yeah. We're working on the night mode version of this, so it's not bright and hurt your eyes. We'll get to that. I have promised.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll work on it. You can change the theme. I wish I could put a button on our website, which the provider we're using, I'm not sure if you can to switch it, but we can just make it darker. I'll see what I can do. But here's the website. You can check us out, about us, what we do, newsletter overview. But here are the different, we use Pepe memes for our Sunday newsletter, and the midweek update will be a different picture, so you'll see them start alternating, which will look nice, I think. Mm-hmm. But this is what the midweek crypto update will look like. So midweek crypto update, we got kind of the big topics here. Mm-hmm. We talked about a lot of this. So markets and macro kind of give you the story with a link and an explanation. Institutional regulation, politics, crypto products, and on-chain events. Here you see the MakerDAO trust. You see the CBBTC after the wrapped Bitcoin controversy. And then this is kind of your editorial here. So this is the structure it's going to look like. Sometimes we won't have an extra story, but highly recommend check it out.
It's good stuff. You know, it's what's the slogan there? Crypto simplified, crypto investing simplified.
Crypto investing simplified. Yeah. And it's really here. I want to help you. Like anyone who reads it, I want everyone to stay up to date with crypto because it moves so fast, while also like educating people on like the fundamentals and like why things matter in the first place. And like how to think about different events, trading strategies. Things that are happening in space. So it's kind of like a mix of those two, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that was one of the new things. And the last thing is we're sort of rounding out our product portfolio, focusing nearly entirely on content creation and information dispersal. You know, I don't think we have any intent to be key opinion leaders necessarily and get paid to shill stuff. But we do think we do a good job creating content, providing a, let's say, more mature and educated perspective, a professional perspective because of our backgrounds. And, you know, if you guys are looking for things like that, be sure to check out the What We Do section of our website.
Yep, check it out. We're happy to help in whatever way we can if you have a crypto project or if you just want to talk. We love talking. We're trying to get more guests on. We can't say yet. We might get another guest on.
Tuesday we might be filming.
If you guys just want to come on and you have some interesting things that you're working on in the crypto space, you have some interesting takes on the market, whatever it is, we're pretty happy to talk to anyone. So I wanted to throw that out there too.
Absolutely. All right.
Well, that was good, I think. And let's go watch your
let's my guy
quarterback. Let's eat some food and I'm hungry.
Yeah, True Brand Hats guy Ben DiNucci playing for the Buffalo Bills against my Pittsburgh Steelers tonight.
There it is. And last thing before I sign off, remember, huge technology week. Stay focused. We all want to make money. It's a long game. Do what you're good at. Invest in high-quality assets. Stay optimistic. Touch some grass. Watch some football. Hang out with some family. Thank you guys for watching.
All right, guys.
Peace.
We're out.